Welcome to TYBSc Chemistry class. This is Meenakshi Dilip Birari, working as Assistant Professor in Chemistry at Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samaj, Nasik. In previous lectures, we tried to understand the various aspects of chemical industry. Now, in today's lecture, I am going to deal with the three important terms like conversion, selectivity and yield. In previous lectures, we have studied the various topics like introduction, basic requirements of chemical industries, chemical production, raw materials, unit process and unit operations, quality control and quality assurance, process control, pollution control, human resource that is HR, R&D, research and development, safety measures and safety precautions, economics of chemical reactions. Also, we have studied the selection of parameters to design chemical industry, classification of chemical reactions, batch and continuous operations, difference between batch and continuous operations. We have studied the continuous operations are more profitable as compared to batch operations. So all these topics already we have studied in previous lectures. Now let us move towards today's lecture. Conversion, selectivity and yield. These terms are always used in connection with the production of chemicals. So these are many times uncleared by the people. So we will see in detail about these three terms, that is conversion, selectivity and yield, in today's lecture. The terms conversion, efficiency and yield are used to describe the amount of reactant consumed and the amount of product formed in the process. So many reactions do not go to completion within a reasonable period of time. Frequently, one reactant is put into reactor in more than the stoichiometric amount in order to improve the rate of the reaction. For these reasons, unchanged reactant frequently appear in the reaction mixture. So these unconverted reactant may be disposed of as a waste product, or they may be separated from the product and it is recycled to the process. So these alternatives have a very great effect upon the economics of the process. So we will see in detail about these three important terms, that is conversion, selectivity and yield. Most of the chemical reactions never go to the completion. Hence, one of the reactant is taken in excess than what is required stoichiometrically. So the unreacted reactant is generally separated from the product and is recycled. So to understand the extent of reaction, that is the amount of reactant chemically converted into the product, the terms that is conversion, selectivity and yield are used. So we will see one by one each term. First of all, conversion. So what is conversion? It is expressed as a percentage and is related to the amount of reactant that is chemically converted to the another substance. So that is simple definition of conversion. It is generally expressed as a percentage. Conversion can be altered by changing the reaction conditions. If we change the reaction conditions, the conversion can be changed. So usually all the process variables are optimized to effect maximum conversion. Again, the percent conversion of a given reactant, it decides the feasibility and the economics of the process. That is important thing. We should remember that the percent conversion of a given reactant decides the feasibility and economics of the process. These three terms, that is conversion, efficiency and yield, these are mostly used to describe the amount of reactant consumed and the amount of product formed in the process. So, percent conversion of a given reactant, it decides the feasibility and economics of the process. So, that is the first important term, conversion. Now, the second one, that is selectivity. What is selectivity? Selectivity, it refers to increasing the percentage of one of the products by keeping conditions favorable to the formation of that product. For example, sometimes reactant may interact with each other differently. When we take the example of ammonia and O2, that is NH3 and O2 reactants react with each other to give the products like NO, N2O, NO2 or N2. There is the formation of these four products NO, N2O, NO2 and N2. So by applying proper reaction conditions, any one of these products can be selectively obtained. So selectivity is also important term. Selectivity increases, the yield of the desired product also increases. So both are related with one another. As the selectivity increases, the yield of desired product also increases. So it refers to increasing the percentage of one of the products by keeping conditions favorable to the formation of that product. That is the definition of selectivity. Now the next one, that is nothing but in detail about selectivity. Already I have explained that some chemical reactions has a side reaction which is formed as an undesired product. We have taken the example of NH3 and O2 to give the formation of NO, N2O, NO2 or N2. By applying the proper conditions, there will be the formation of desired product selectively. If the multiple reactions occur when the undesired product is formed, it may cause economic loss. Less of desired product is also obtained for a given quantity of raw materials. Greater quantity of raw materials must be fed to the reactor to obtain a specified product yield. So these are the effects of these side reactions which may occur. In simple terms, when we consider the selectivity, it is nothing but the ratio of moles of desired product to the moles of undesired product. So selectivity is nothing but the ratio of moles of desired product to the moles of undesired product. Now the next term, that is yield. What is yield? It refers to the actual amount of product formed in the reaction. So yield is nothing but how much amount of product is formed by consuming the reactant. So this simple terms, yield, it refers to the amount of product formed in the reaction. It is also expressed as a percentage. It is related to conversion and selectivity. Greater is the percent conversion, more is the yield of the product. As greater is the percent conversion, more is the yield of the product. So reaction conditions and the separation techniques, these are used, or this can also decide the percent yield of the product. Higher yields are expected for the commercialization of the reaction. Yield of the product can be improved by applying the Le-Chatelier's principles to shift the equilibrium to the product side. So these are nothing but the important thing we should remember. Yield is nothing but the actual amount of product formed in the reaction. So in other words also we can explain the yield, the quantity of product formed, that is called as a yield. So chemical reactions and physical processes on a large scale to convert raw materials into useful products. So there are the conditions of the reactions which can be controlled to produce the best yield of product possible at an economic rate. So yield, it is again in two terms. One is the theoretical yield and second one is actual yield. Theoretical yield is predicted by equation, whereas actual yield is given, that is nothing but quantity actually obtained. Quantity which is actually obtained, that is called actual yield. These are the two terms, theoretical yield and actual yield. Again, in other words, we can define yield is nothing but moles of desired product formed divided by moles that would have been formed if there were no side reaction and the limiting reactant had reacted completely. In another terms, also we can define yield is the ratio of moles of desired product formed to the moles of reactant fed. Yield is also defined, in other words, that the ratio of moles of desired product formed to the moles of reactant consumed. How much reactant is consumed to form desired product. That is also another definition of yield. So these are the three definitions of yield with different working definition. Theoretical, actual and percent yield. What are these terms? So first of all, theoretical yield, the maximum amount of product which is calculated using the balance equation, that is called as theoretical yield. The second term, that is actual yield, amount of product obtained when the reaction takes place. And the percent yield can be calculated by considering theoretical and actual yield. So the ratio of actual yield to the theoretical yield is nothing but percent yield. Percent yield is equal to actual yield in grams, theoretical yield in grams multiplied by 100. So percent yield is the ratio of actual yield to the theoretical yield multiplied by 100. So these three terms are also very important, that is theoretical yield, actual yield and percent yield. Now already we have studied these three terms, that is conversion, efficiency and yield, which are used to describe the amount of reactant consumed and the amount of product formed in the process. So to explain these three terms, we will take the example, that is manufacture of ammonia by Haber process. So manufacturing of ammonia by Haber process, it includes the reactants, that is N2 and H2, the nitrogen which is available from the raw material, air, something which is available naturally, and the another one, that is H2, hydrogen, which is usually produced from methane. So ammonia is manufactured from N2 and H2. The nitrogen is available from the raw material, air, and the other feedstock for the manufacture of ammonia, that is hydrogen, which is usually produced from methane. Again, that is the making ammonia, the Haber process. N2 plus thrice H2 give the formation of twice NH3. So nitrogen gas and hydrogen gas, when combined together, they are converted into gaseous ammonia. So when we explain that nitrogen from the air, hydrogen from the natural gas, 1 volume of nitrogen, 3 volume of hydrogen gives the formation of 2 volume of ammonia. So nitrogen and hydrogen 1:3 by volume. 1 volume of nitrogen, 3 volume of hydrogen give the formation of 2 volume of ammonia. So this reaction is a reversible reaction, exothermic reaction. This reaction is reversible and exothermic reaction. So there is the formation of the gaseous ammonia. When it is cooled, then it turns into liquid form, that is the formation of liquid ammonia. So that is the Haber process for the manufacturing of ammonia. Now in Haber process, when we observe all these terms, the reaction is reversible, exothermic, and it proceeds with a decrease in volume. So 1:3 volume is used. So when we consider the temperature, pressure, the various variables related to manufacturing of ammonia, low temperature shifts the equilibrium to the right but means a slow reaction rate. In this we can use Fe, that is ion catalyst, to improve the reaction. High pressure favors also shifts the equilibrium to the right because this is the side with fewer gas molecules. Temperature around 500 degrees Celsius and pressure of over 150 atmosphere gives a yield of ammonia of about 15%. So product removal, in practice, equilibrium is not reached as the unreacted gases. These are recycled and the ammonia gas is removed as a liquid. So that is the Haber process for the manufacturing of ammonia. The reaction is reversible, exothermic, and it proceeds with a decrease in volume. So to get a maximum yield of ammonia, low temperature, that is in the range of 725 to 775 Kelvin, or that is the 500 degrees Celsius, and high pressure of the order of 200 to 900 atmosphere, it should be used. So at low pressure, the yield is about 10 to 15%. So yield of the ammonia obtained, that is 15%. When we consider the favorable conditions of temperature and pressure, the ammonia, manufacturing of ammonia, it occurs about 15%, while at higher pressure it is 40%. So in order to accelerate the reaction at low temperature, finely divided iron, that is the Fe catalyst, is used. So in some cases a trace amount of molybdenum, that is also added to, which act as a promoter to the catalyst. To promote the catalyst, molybdenum, it should be added in the Haber process. Again we can consider the ammonia manufacturing and the conditions of the manufacturing of ammonia. To increase the yield of the product, we can apply the Le-Chatelier's principles to shift the equilibrium to the product side. So by considering this example, we get that N2 plus thrice H2, which gives the formation of twice NH3. So 1 volume of nitrogen, 3 volume of hydrogen give the formation of 2 volume of ammonia. The reaction is reversible and it is exothermic. It proceeds with a decrease in volume. So to get maximum yield of ammonia, low temperature and high pressure, it should be used. Low temperature increases formation of ammonia. Increase in temperature increases the reaction and there will be the formation of less ammonia. So at low pressure the yield is about 10 to 15%, while at higher pressure it is 40%. In order to accelerate the reaction at low temperature, finely divided iron, that is Fe, used as a catalyst. A trace amount of MO, molybdenum, it is act as a promoter to this catalyst. So that is nothing but the manufacturing of ammonia. To increase the yield of the desired product, we can apply the Le-Chatelier's principle to shift the equilibrium to the product side. So in this lecture, we have discussed the various terms of industrial chemistry, that is conversion, selectivity and yield. In next lecture, we will see the another topic, that is intellectual property, IP, copyright, trademarks, patent act, etc. So we will see in next lecture all these topics in detail. Thank you.